not super bubbly and if I'm not all made up and stuff, it's because I'm really tired and I stayed up way too late last night and got up way too early, and then I remembered I committed to have these world building sheets available by the end of the day today, which is the 15th. So I'm getting that done. Those will be available on my website at cswellswrites.com right after this video is posted. I'm just gonna give you a quick run through of what the pages are so that if it sounds interesting to you, you're welcome to go on there. But if it doesn't, then you don't have to waste your time downloading them if it doesn't sound like they're gonna fit your needs. These are actually made to be kinda little bit like freestyle as far as world building, where it's mostly brainstorming world building stuff, because that's how I work as far as that stuff's concerned. But feel free to adapt it as you want or ignore them entirely, as I've said before. But the first one is the history of your location. Now that can mean of your whole planet, that could mean of the country it takes place in, that could mean the state, city, that could mean the bedroom the person lives in. That sounds wrong to do the history of a bedroom. Anyway, the second part is more specifics about location, and this is specifically for outside factors, so not like indoors. And it has climate, weather trends, terrain, and those three things have a couple of examples of what I mean by those, because those all sound like very similar things, but it's got a couple examples to make that easier. And then it's got animal life and plant life. And then any other notes section. And then there's also a little note that says feel free to map out your location if you want. I'm not gonna do that because I'm not good at drawing. I can paint with oil paints, but that's about it for me. I'm not good at that stuff. But anyway, the next sheet is buildings / shelters. So this is inside factors. The other one was outside location stuff, and this is more stuff that pertains to inside or buildings. And the first thing is materials, and referring to like, are the buildings made of concrete, glass, stone, wood, whatever. Structure style, as in like modern, futuristic, Victorian, etc. Common colors used. This one I just kind of use, it helps me with figuring out descriptions, to be honest with you. I'm not going to take too long on the rest of these. The other one is decorations, temperature, light sources, and layout. And the layout can also be mapped. My alarm is going off telling me I need to get ready for bed. I don't know how to turn it off without getting this video to stop. Oh no, I'm not redoing that. Forget it. We're just taking over from where the alarm went off. Anyway, the last thing I said was layout, and again it has a note saying that you are free to map out and draw the layout of your buildings if you need to. Sometimes that really helps to figure out how you're going to direct certain scenes and stuff, so that can be kind of important regardless of what type of genre you're working with. The next thing I have, and this one is mostly questions, and the sheet is more designed to kind of get you thinking. And you're welcome to use more questions or less questions in this if these don't pertain to you. But these are questions that should pretty much apply to any genre. Now this is on the people, so the inhabitants of your story. And it says, what ethnicities are they? Now obviously if this is like sci-fi or something, maybe they're aliens and they're Klingons or something, which is fine. And then what kind of jobs do the people have? What types of clothes do they wear, as in style or fabric? And what do they eat? What are some of their social norms? What are some of their social taboos? What technology is available and what technology is commonly used, because those two things are not always the same. Like, for example, we have the ability to have cybernetic arms and stuff, but do you see a bunch of people walking around with them? No, you don't. So, not yet anyway, we'll get there. But, so what's available versus what the common Joe might actually have in his household. And then, are there any predominant religions? Actually, I have it phrased as, what predominant religions are there, if any? And then, what is the primary language used? What are normal gender roles or expectations for the society, because they don't necessarily have to match ours, and it's a good thing to have nailed down. What is the typical family unit structure? That's kind of a interesting one because I found that one online. I'm like, oh, I would never thought to put that on there, but that is actually important. And then what is their educational system like? So these things will all kind of affect the story, and they all kind of, you could probably use all of those in pretty much any genre I can think about. The next section, like I mentioned, a lot of these are very freeform. The next section I have is government and religion, and honestly I'm going to be doing a video a little bit more on that probably tomorrow, if not the next day at the very latest. But I worked really hard on that video and I didn't want to talk anymore about that stuff until I have to do the video. So that one's just kind of free form. I literally just have it listed as brainstorm, and you go ahead and brainstorm out your government and religion as much as you want so that it suits your story. If your story has nothing to do with either of those subjects, then hooray, you don't have to fill out that not fun page. And then the next one, this one's another one that's kind of if it's applicable, because you may not have this, but I know a lot of people do. And the next page is on magic system, and then it has a brainstorming section, and then it always also has a little place that you can, I don't know if you can see that, where you can fill in any rules your magic system has or has to go by, who actually has magic in your magic system, if there are any limits, and what effects that kind of magic has on the world at large that your story is set in. And then the last bit I put in there, which is one that actually I've had to use the most in my world buildings, but it's not really one that I found I could structure very well, other than just to list things that I needed to do this with, is research and fact checking. And I just put that as a brainstorming section again. So like I mentioned, this is very free form, like just kind of fill it in. It's just to kind of give you an overall picture. It's not super in-depth. If you want something super in-depth that has like 1,000,001 things you have to fill in, there are loads of those available online. I'm not putting another one of those out there in the universe. This one's a little bit more straightforward and basic, and just kind of it's not super structured. So have fun with it. And you guys have a great rest of your evening. Okay, bye-bye.